Hello everybody, I'm Rhinocio, and I wasn't kidding when I said that I was a queer of all trades, because today, instead of doing a drawing on the computer or on paper, I'm going to be working in textiles. I recently found this hideous oversized green dress with all kinds of sparkles in it at the thrift store, and since it was only like $3, I figured I'd give some modification a try. My main goal was to give this thing some kind of waistline, so I started by cutting the middle of it straight across based on how far down I'd measured my waistline to be, which was fairly simple work up until I got to the pockets. Normally I'm kind of lazy about ripping seams and I'll just cut them out, but these ones were very firmly sewn in there, so I actually had to turn around and get a seam ripper. To get a sense of how much bigger this dress was than I wanted it to be, I measured my waist and then halved that number, and then I measured one side of the dress against that length. A friend suggested that I keep the dress sort of flowy and then just gather the top and the bottom to make it all one piece. So I immediately started pinning pleats. And then after a long second I was like, no wait, that's not right. So instead I gathered the fabric down to the length that it needed to be using a simple running stitch and reference of my measuring tape. I gathered both the top and the bottom of this dress, and then I pinned both sides together and struggled for a very long time to get them to work through a sewing machine. It didn't work, so I ended up having to sew it by hand. Something was wrong with the bobbin, I don't know. And then I tried it on, and I hated it, so I tried something else. I decided I'd go with a little bit more of an A-line cut to the dress, so I narrowed down the sides of the dress, making sure I wasn't changing the armholes at all. I just basically pinned the fabric around the new armhole and then down, and this was fairly easy because this material is quite stretchy. Which gave me this cute little crop top that fits much better. I decided I did want to keep the pockets on this dress, so I went to reattach them and then realized they were full of holes, so I had to patch up a lot of these holes. You don't really notice these on the final product, so they're a little ugly, but it's fine. I also had to MacGyver a piece of fabric that I accidentally ripped off from the skirt, but it's fine, I can't even see it on the finished product. So once I had my new shortened top and my regular length skirt with the pockets attached, all I had left to do was to scrunch the bottom so that it fit the width of the top and pin them together. And I did go back to pleating here because I was getting really sick of trying to gather stuff. While the initial round of stitching did work, the waistline was a little bit lower than I wanted it to be, unfortunately. But this was a fairly easy fix. All I had to do was move the skirt up to where I wanted it to be and then sew it in a new position. The last thing I wanted to change was the sleeves because they're at this weird loose 3/4 length and that's not my jam. So I cropped them down to the length I wanted them to be with a little bit of an allowance so I could turn the hem and make it neat and tidy. And then I made the sleeve a little bit tighter by changing where the stitching went up towards the armpit. Then once I'd cleaned up all the loose threads from sewing it, this boy was done. As always, thanks for watching, guys. I know this is a little bit different than what I normally do, so let me know what you think with a like or comment or whatever. And if you'd like to hang out and see more of this kind of stuff in the future, feel free to hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye!
Hey.